G'day guys, Ben here from Solar and Sat. Today I've actually managed to weasel Craig out of an installation and in front of this caravan to do a bit of a rundown on our sort of standard lithium package that we do through here. We often do like 2 to 3 to even 4 of these a week. Obviously a pretty standard package as far as our workshop is concerned. On these larger jobs, it's always our senior technicians like Craig, Vince and some of the other boys that take these on. So Craig, what's the rundown on the specs on this one, mate?
So yeah, as I said, it's pretty well a standard install that comes through here. So we've got 930 watts up on the roof, and we've got the 3 kVA Victron inverter down below. Powering that is a 620 Chevy Gen 3 battery, which is a new one we've got in there. And also 50 ampere hour DC-DC charger, 2 solar rigs controlling the show.
Yeah, excellent, awesome. And obviously being the DC-DC charger, we would have had to run a cable on their vehicle.
Yeah, so we did a 13mm square cable run on his Ram, triggered by ignition on the trailer plug.
Yeah, awesome. Our approach here at Solar and Sat is a little bit different. Our technicians are pretty much trained across the whole system, and originally when you guys get a quote done from us, we'll plan it all out. But the great thing about our installers here is once they actually look at the job, they'll inspect the Anderson plugs on the vehicle, they'll check the cable runs, they'll check the existing hardware and infrastructure and make sure it's suitable for the task. That's something that obviously our senior installers will look at on the day, and they'll make sure that everything's sized appropriately. So that 13mm squared cable run is one thing. Obviously everyone has an Anderson plug on the back of their tow vehicle, or nearly everyone, but this one clearly required an ignition triggered run as well through the 12-pin to make sure the DC-DC charger does the job it should. When we have these larger installs in, we often have them in for multiple days, and there's heaps of elements and components that go into them. So the idea of this video is we'll head inside, I can pick Craig's brain a little bit, talk about why he's positioned things the way he has, and how he's approached some of the things we run into on these installations. Now we're inside the caravan, let's talk about the approach a little bit. So obviously when the customer turns up on the day, goes to drop it off, Craig's already got a pretty comprehensive idea of the scope that I or one of the other sales guys have planned out. So he'll have already pre-read this, he already knows what caravan he's looking for, who the customer is, all that sort of stuff. Go out and greet them obviously, and of course once we actually see these setups, they're a complicated sort of a system. Normally Craig will actually verify that if there's a small adjustment that has to be made, a part has to be changed, or if the customer has some specific requests they want. So this installation, for instance, every customer always has a couple of requests. What did this fella ask for?
Ball weight was this customer's sort of thing, so he wanted more the weight away from the tow bar as possible. So we achieved that as much as we could.
Yep.
And he did want it compact, so we tried to make it compact as possible, so they obviously still had some room under the bed there.
So that's why you put that divider wall in, obviously?
Correct, mate, yeah. So I can still use all the room you can under that bed.
It's also the time when the customer drops it off that we talk about where we're going to put the screens, where we're going to put fascias, how bright things are, where customers want stuff.
Mate, yeah, so we normally try to go where all the other displays and switches are. All the displays and controls are sort of in this area, so we achieved what we could to get them there in that area to work for him.
Yeah, awesome. So that's one of the nice things, obviously, being that Craig's going to be doing the installation, he'll also be in charge of the fabrication crew, any of the other supporting installers that'll be working with him. He'll talk to the customer, work out where he's happy to have the displays and stuff. If he has anything in particular about where he wants to put panels, or as Craig said, ball weight, I assume that's why you put the battery further to closer to us.
Yep, so brought it back as far as we could.
Easy, and of course does the planning and stuff behind it too. So there's a few things in here to make this go together. Obviously there's a big electrical system in there, but you'd be surprised how many other little details that go into this. With the new laws, we've obviously got an S3 battery in there. It's got a vent kit where we have to ventilate to the outside. So can you tell us a bit about that, Craig?
Yeah, mate, yeah. So pretty well wherever we put the battery, we do have to have in mind where we're going to put the hole nearby, preferably. So this one, there wasn't anything under the floor here, so we're able to just go straight out the floor, 20mm hole with a vent underneath and seal the hole back up.
Awesome, and we filter that, of course, so that no crap and stuff can get up into the battery and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we do have a little breather on there that is more than capable of handling that.
Yeah, excellent. And I noticed there's boards around the place too. So what was the go there, mate?
Yeah, so normally with most of our installs, if we can, we'd rather pre-wire it on our benches. I got our fabrication team to do up a board where we put all our regulators and stuff. Yep. And then we got another one made up for the splitter wall. Yeah, and obviously custom acrylics wherever we need them for vents and stuff.
Yes, so we've actually added that divider wall, have we?
We have,
yeah. Okay, because he was asking for it to be compact so he can just touch the stuff in there and
exactly, mate,
his system easy. And obviously that bit tight like that, I assume it makes a bit more heat that way. So how have we approached that?
So we've got a big 120mm silent fan on there.
Fabrication crew is a little bit of an unsung hero around here. Obviously, even that vent there, of course, they laser cut that out. They fabbed up the board, they fabbed up the divider wall. It's one of the reasons our installs look so factory. Being able to just laser or router it all out and have them take care of that obviously can make it a lot easier for us, can focus on the wiring side of things. Yeah. But even when it comes down to the cooling fan, for example, we get the big quiet PC fans. Dead silent, even when they're running full noise in there, you put your ear next to it, you can barely hear it. And the idea there is it keeps it all cool, but doesn't really sacrifice acoustics, especially when it's going under the customer's bed like this. And a lot of time customers have other requests.
Yeah, there's always little bits and bobs, extra Anderson plugs, USBs, SIGGI plugs, the list goes on. Yeah. And yeah, more than happy to do it if we can.
They'll go through and note down anywhere they want extra power points, extra cigarette sockets. A lot of the time a customer puts an inverter in because they want to use an induction cooktop, and then they realize they don't have a power point on their bench. So we organise things like the PowerPoint, and we'll suggest things like that if the customer hasn't necessarily thought of it or anticipated it. Sometimes they'll have an electric barbecue they want to use outside, or they'll have additional things they want to add later, like they're talking about Starlink connections, all that sort of stuff. And we try to catch all of this in that handover stage so we can make sure we don't miss a single thing, and obviously makes for a nice, clean result for the customer in the end.
Sort of do it once, do it right, eh?
That's exactly what we're here for. On these more custom sort of installations, we find having the flexibility can really make the difference between a really nice result and just a nice result. So what were some changes that sort of went into this one compared to the original quote, Craig?
Okay, so this one, we did start with the S2 600 amp hour battery, Chevy.
The long sort of skinnier sort of ones?
Yeah, that's right. It does take up a fair bit of room because this customer did want it so compact.
Yep.
We opted to go with our new S3 620 amp hour,
Yes.
Which more amp hour and a lot less room.
Yes.
So it made a lot of sense.
That's something that with our latest generation of batteries, and this is sort of the theme across a lot of our products, our panels are the same. We have various options in terms of like longer, skinnier, stubbier, taller, all that sort of stuff. So obviously by opting for this S3, you've squished it all up to the left. Also, I'm pretty sure I quoted this customer on a Mark II Multiplus originally.
Yeah, right. So yeah, same thing, even with the inverter. So our Mark II is a lot longer, not so higher, but that didn't really work for me on this one.
Yep.
So making it compact again, we went to Mark I. That way it's a little bit more height, but shorter. So
yeah,
we're able to fit it all in one side instead of extended over into his storage.
They're the sort of things that obviously by keeping every size battery in stock on the shelf, every version of Multiplus in stock on the shelf, it means when we look at it and we go, hey, we could actually trim this up, we could save some space, we could approach this a bit differently. All Craig has to do is wander down to the warehouse, swaps it over, and obviously we can get a nicer result for the customer without having to order in new parts, change things. And even with our roof, we do that sort of stuff all the time. We've got two different size 130s.
Yeah, so we've got the narrows and the normals, yeah.
We run into situations where we need to dodge an aircon or dodge an antenna or try to get away from shading, and we can just swap out our 130 standard for our 130 narrow, talk to the customer, of course, and it means they can get a nicer result without having to rebook, delay the job. It's worth noting too that on these jobs, like every caravan's different, and with a roof array like this, how much solar was on this one again?
930, I'm pretty sure.
So when you're putting that much solar on there, a lot of the time I might quote a few different 200 watt panels. I might say 5 200 watt panels, 1000 watts, but when we actually physically look up there, that might not always be possible. And that's obviously where Craig can talk directly to the customer, measure up the roof and go, hey, look, we can fit 3 200s, 3 130s, this is what we can fit up there. And then you can adjust the solar controllers and everything to suit. So one of the big benefits of having us do it, of course, is we keep every size solar controller in stock, every size breaker in stock, every panel in stock. We've got hundreds of them sitting over there in our warehouse, and it lets us achieve whatever the customer wants us to achieve. If we need to custom fabricate parts to make that happen, we can do that. But Craig, what ended up happening with the solar array anyway? How do we approach that?
As you said, it can change when they roll up. So he put a Dometic air vent in the top there.
Yes.
So that ended up deleting 130 that we did have quoted on there. But look, we got all the rest up there. But yeah, things can change and we'll always work around to make it happen as best we can.
Easy. In this particular one, obviously having 6 panels up there, I assume we had to do like 1 or 2 regulators?
Yeah, so we had 2 50s there and 2 cable runs down to 2 isolators and your new cable.
Yeah, fresh system. So yeah, the idea there with the Victron stuff is very modular. So we can do 2 separate regulators, 2 separate solar arrays, and they link together and perform just like one big array. So once again, allows us to work with that sort of flexibility. 620 amp hour, nearly 1000 watts of solar. These guys will have plenty of power. I think that's pretty much it. How would you summarize our installation process, Craig?
It still comes down to a big communication back and forth with the customer, making sure what they want and what they get, and then big teamwork with our team here to make sure it gets done.
That's it, working with our installers, obviously keeping the wide range of stock that we have, and making sure that the end result is what the customer had in mind.
Alrighty guys, this aircon's great, but I've got to get back to work.
Fair enough, mate. Thanks for taking time out of your day. If you guys are chasing an electrical fit out of your own, make sure you contact us at Solar and Sat.